Hello everyone, I am Poonam Chaube. Today I am ready with the very first chapter of your geography book. The chapter is Resources and Development. This chapter we will study in four parts, and today I am going to discuss part 1, in which we will study about first definition and characteristics of resources, in which we will also see interdependent relationship between nature, technology and institutions together with human being. Then we will see types of resources. Afterward, different ways of classification of natural resources. What are the different ways on which natural resources are classified, and then we will see development of resources, but this topic will be continued in second part of our. The question is, what is a resource? We can define resource as anything that can be used to satisfy our needs, provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible and culturally acceptable, known as resources. For example, see the diagram. Water used for drinking purpose. It is also used for generation of electricity called hydroelectricity. Mineral oil used as a fuel energy. Forest, we get various product from forest for our use. Rocks contain used for construction to make shelter, minerals, soil, animals, etc. As we saw in the definition, the main characteristics of resources are: number one, it must be technologically accessible. Means whatever knowledge, idea, techniques available with us that are enough to develop it. Second is economically feasible. Means its development should not be very costly. If cost of production is very high, we can't develop it. It is not resource for us. And third is culturally acceptable. Suppose we are able in developing this resource, but its development can cause harm to others, not only other people. It can cause harm to society as well as to environment. Land, water, air get affected. So then it is not a resource. If it causes damage to any one of them, then it is not a resource. Now we will see the interdependent relationship between nature, technology, institutions together with human being for the development of. To understand it in better way, we will see one example. Human beings, means teacher and other staffs, work for the development, interact with the resources that are human resource, children and students, by applying the techniques, teaching it stationary items, and formations from other sources like internet, etc. They create one institution through these institutions, because this institution is needed for a well development, all round development of children or students. Without that, all round development can't take place if it is not in balanced way. So they help in the development of students. Or in this way, teachers and other staff create an institution. Through this institution, in balanced way, interact with the children through the technology and work for the development of children or students. Already we saw that whatever resources we use in our life, they are of three types: natural resources, man-made resources, and human resources. Natural resources are created by nature. Man-made resources, people modify the things whatever they get from nature. They can't create. They get from nature many things available in nature not usable for us till we don't bring changes in their form. So if the things become usable after modification, so these are called man-made resources, and people are kept in a separate group. So in this topic we are going to see the classification of natural resources on various bases. First classification is based on origin. On the basis of origin, resources are classified into abiotic resource and biotic resources. Whatever we obtain from non-living things, they are abiotic resources. For example, soil for growth of plant and cultivation of crop, rocks for construction purpose, minerals for various uses, sunlight. All these are example of abiotic resources. While biotic resources, the resources which are obtained from living things, from plant and animals, we get many products. Next classification is based on renewability or exhaustibility. Means what is the rate of its formation, regeneration as per the rate of consumption. It is classified into renewable or non-exhaustible resources and non-renewable or exhaustible resources. Renewable means the resources which get renewed or replenished very quickly, means they never get exhausted from our surrounding in whatever amount we use, as some of them are unlimited in nature, that is why they do not get exhausted, while other can be used again and again, means it is available in fixed amount but it doesn't get exhausted, we can use it again and again. For example, solar energy, wind energy, water, soil, forest. While non-renewable or exhaustible resources are those resources which get exhausted either due to limited stock of it, or it takes thousands of years to be renewed or replenished. That is why I get exhausted. For example, coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. Next classification is on the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership, resources are classified into number one, individual resources. Means whatever resources are owned by any individual, any personal property, land, pond, well, buildings, etc., owned by any individual, called individual resources. Second types of resources on the basis of ownership is community owned resources. Park, playground, grazing lands, means All the people living in that community have right to use these. No outsider comes to use, means people living in that community. So this type of resources are called community owned resources. And then is national resources. Within the geographical areas of a country, whatever comes within the political boundary and oceanic areas up to 12 nautical miles. 12 nautical miles equal to 22.2 kilometer from the coast in water bodies. This area in water body is called territorial water. So that is under national resource, means any nation has right to use the resources available within this area. Even the resources which are individual or community owned resources, that also comes under national resources. Or then the last one is international resources. Some resources are owned by international institutions. No any individual country can utilize these resources without the agreement, without the permission of international institutions. As you know, over Antarctica, many countries have set up their research centers to know about it. It is not owned by any country, it is owned by international institutions. So after taking permission from these bodies, individual countries set up their research centers to know about it. Next classification of natural resources are on the basis of status of development. On the basis of status of development, resources are classified into number one, developed resource or actual resource. Means quality and quantity is known and being used at present. Through survey, we know its quality and quantity. Next, potential resource. Quality and quantity may not be known, therefore would be used in future. Stock. The resource is available abundantly to satisfy the human needs. We know its quality. It can be used for what purpose? But due to lack of appropriate technology, we are not able to develop it. It is not accessible at present. We can understand it with the help of example. Example is water. Water is a compound of two gases, hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen can be used as a rich source of energy, but it is not being used because we don't have any advanced technical know-how to use it for this purpose. So that is why it is stopped. May in near future we will develop the technology or then use it. And the last type of natural resource on the basis of status of development is called reserve. Reserve means technology is available to use it. It is available abundantly in our surrounding, but its utilization has not started yet. Why? As it is not needed at present in that area. May in near future it would be required, then its utilization will start or it will be converted into a developed resource. For example, we can see river water. River water is used to generation of hydroelectricity, or it is being used only to a limited extent, as it is not required in very remote areas. But if any industry is being set up, settlement is developed, then it would be needed in that area, or generation of hydroelectricity will start in that area. So the river water of that area will become developed resource. At present, it is a reserve. To understand it more clearly, we can see one more example. High speed winds. High speed winds were potential resource 200 years ago because it was not used. The speed of wind was not used for any purpose. But now it has become actual resource or developed resource as windmills are used to harness wind energy. As we know, natural resources are not distributed equally over the Earth's surface. The factors which affect its distribution are terrain, means nature of slope and types of rocks. You can say relief feature, then climate, which include temperature and moisture, altitude, height above the sea level. So all these factors vary from place to place, so it is distributed unevenly. As we have already discussed that, okay, resources which are available in nature all are not usable for us till we don't bring changes in them. Now we will see development of resources. Development of resources are essential for us, as we saw earlier. Resources are not equally distributed over the earth. We are having limitations. So, but there are problems also in development of these resources. What are the problems? Irrational and indiscriminate use of resources by human beings has led the following problems. Number one, the problems of depletion of resources. Depletion of resources only to satisfy the greed of few individuals. Next, accumulation of resources only in few hands. Only few people are having access of these resources, or what the result of it? It divides the society into two segments, rich and poor. Another problems in development of resources are indiscriminate use of resources has also led to global ecological crises like global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, land degradation, etc. So, in next part, we will see what to do for the protection of resources, for the better development of resources, so that it would be available for us to use at present, as well as would be available easily for our future generation by protecting the environment. All these things we will see in our next part. That's all for today. Thank you.